All right, yep. Call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call.
Jim Goss.
Here.
Tom O'Connor.
Here.
Michelle Lee. Bert Lynn.
Here.
Aaron DeVere.
Here.
Andrew Hoppy here. I'm here. Tricia Hawk here. Jeff Buckmeyer. Jerry Harris.
Here.
Marie Collins. Joe Tyson. Joe Strange.
Here.
Alex Todd.
Here.
Kathy Thompson. Here.
All right, entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd like to make a change to the agenda.
Think it's C under new business? We might
New
have.
business, C, architectural control.
No, I want to add,
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah, I want to add, and I don't know if it's probably old business, but I want to revisit the Rule 26. There you go.
Yeah, let's put that under old business.
Outside of that, then I would move to approve the agenda.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. All righty, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. General Manager's report.
My report is pretty short this month. Mary and Ho's on site to do the drawdown pipe of the Inman project, so they were here yesterday and today. They're planning on being here through the week and possibly early into next week. Yeah, we do have an engineer that's monitoring their progress with that, making sure it's all done to spec. Cannon Excavating is a contractor that hauls our debris. So just as a heads up, I know everyone's seen our lovely mountain of 6. They're gonna dedicate 2 trucks to us for 2 days next week to haul it all off, so we should be able to get most of it out of here pretty soon.
Where is that stuff all go?
Cannon takes it to a dump site in Troy on one of their farms.
It's impossible to give away. It's so junky, they just won't even chip it up because it comes up in people's machine. Yeah, it's just literally we have to take it away. And
then lake cleanup is ongoing, so we're gonna keep working on it. I know we still got some codes and, people's docks and things to get behind. So the guys were out there this morning and their, motor broke down on the push boat that pushes the barn. We were able to get that repaired, so we'll be back out tomorrow. And that is all I have for now.
Thank you. All right, looking at Rule 26 on the agenda, Aaron?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion, that Rule 26 be revised, that towing at idle speed is allowed in all no-wake zones with the exception of within 100 feet of boat ramps or the gas dock.
Anybody would like to discuss that? Oh, we didn't get a second? Sorry, thank you.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. On to discussion. I could discuss it a little. My opinion has gone back and forth on what we should do here, over and over again, actually. But I think this is a pretty good compromise. I know that there are people who have very safely towed in no-wake zones, and people are towing people that they care for, and so they're not trying to put them in danger. We have a rule in place already. If people are behaving dangerously with their boat, in Water Patrol's judgment, they have the ability to write tickets. So if people are safely doing this, I personally own the boat here, but I don't see a problem with it. And I think it's appropriate to not tow near boat ramps or the gas stop. I think that's an appropriate exception.
You want a roll call?
Yes, I think we should. No further discussion? We'll move to a roll call vote. Aaron?
Yes.
Yes.
Tom? Kurt?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1. All right. Moving away from old business into new business, we have legal fees that we discussed in executive session. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve legal fees in the amount of $5,496.19.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On to a new club application, the Lake St. Louis Book Club. Do we have somebody here from the Lake St. Louis Book Club?
Yes.
Would you like to come forward and sit close enough to the microphone to be heard? Thank you.
Of course.
Can you just pull a chair up to that one? And it's not in a position, so we'll be nice, I promise. So what's going on?
So first and foremost, my name is Mary. My last name is Biter, spelled E like boy, E-I-T as in Tom, E-R.
Thank you.
I
Mary.
am the president, founder, whatever you want to call it. We've determined that there is a need within the community for those of us that love to read books. Especially, we found out that there is a special need for women to get together. We're talking women ages between I'm probably the youngest, so we'll say 40s. We also have members also that are part of our club that are almost approaching 80. We have a diverse demographic. Probably well over 90% are actually CA members. We've actually been utilizing the restaurant for our meetings. We meet bi-monthly. Everyone is entitled in the community to join us. We have a Facebook group that we have where we post all of our meetings. People have my email address. We have just gotten this out based upon word of mouth. And our club has grown to well over 20 members. Books that we read, any genre, any type, as long as they're under 500 pages and easily accessible to those in the community, whether it's through the library, through the Libya app. And we really do truly get together and we sit and talk about the book that we've selected. Books are selected by every member, gets to pick a book of their choice, goes into literally a bag. Whoever picked the last book, they get to pick our next book. And that is the book we read. We meet bi-monthly. And in between that, not only do we discuss kind of our personal lives, what's going on in the community, things that are happening like birthdays, weddings, celebrations, doesn't matter. But our main time together, we're literally discussing our book. It is truly a group of women who are passionate about reading. This past month, we realized sitting in the restaurant, it's not conducive to us because the music is loud and it takes up a lot of space. 20 women. It's great business for the restaurant. We're not taking it away. But last month, we actually met downstairs. I paid personally out of pocket to utilize the veterans room. Smaller group of us, but it was fine. People went to the restaurant, got food and dinner beforehand, and then came downstairs for our meeting. After our meeting, usually that's about an hour, hour and a half. People stay around to socialize. And again, getting together. We'd like formally be recognized. I'm happy to take questions because.
Mine's a technical one.
Yeah.
Bi-monthly is one of those ones that can be every 8 weeks or every 2 weeks.
It's okay. So it is every other month we meet.
Okay, thank you.
That's what we mean by bi-monthly. It is the first Thursday of the month. Before we all exit and go on our way, we pick our book. We make sure the date works for the majority of the folks, and we meet at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Is it just for ladies only?
It is, we will be happy to have women, or happy to have men join us, but it primarily is for women.
It's not a women's book club, it's just a book club.
It's really, it's a book club. Anyone can join. We all have women.
Have you already requested, checked the schedule to see what works for open rooms and stuff? Has that been?
No, not yet. Once, if you approve the club, then Becky will
That's
work
up to
with
you.
you on
Yes.
scheduling.
Okay.
Okay.
Make a motion. Do we have to approve the St. Louis Book Club? That'll be 5 months. Every other month.
Second.
Any discussion?
I guess what are you obligating the
CA to? Is it just a meeting room, or
It's
is
a
this for holiday parties? Is
It's
this
a
for
meeting. It is a-
equipment? Is this for, I mean, I'm just new to the board, so I just
I
wanna
just
make
think-
sure what we're obligating the CA to with this.
My only ask is that we are allowed to utilize the meeting space. That's the only obligation that we
No
have.
staff,
And we do-
no, yeah.
No, we have no, I don't need any staff, I have no decorations to put up, we literally just kind of put the tables, we met, wasn't the July 4th, so July 14th, I think was the day, we met the second Thursday because of the holiday, we just put the tables together, when we're done, we put them back to be respectful, and we literally turn the light out, shut the door, walk out.
And is this like, do we approve that, and then are they in perpetuity? Okay.
Until they dissolve,
Yeah.
so.
And then the only other thing that I would mention is because if you become a group or a club, then you need to provide a roster and have the necessary percentage of,
Of
like
course.
St. Louis residents, et cetera.
And I've already provided my bylaws when I put it in my application.
Yeah, so, and that was the only question I haven't been able to reconcile this with any of the other charters that we've got out there. Is it, in your guys' experience, in line with what is typical?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, moving on to committee reports. Is there anybody here representing finance? Nobody here representing finance, but they did have a motion to improve the 2023 annual audit. I think we can carry that without them because we were all there, most of us were there anyway. So,
Motion to approve the 2023 audit as presented by the, are you
yeah, that's
okay
what,
with that?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, that's what I'm
Okay,
asking
all
for.
right.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
I second.
Yep.
Is there any discussion? Yes, Sir Jim?
Just got a question. I thought that was gonna be presented here tonight, or is it just gonna be available
It's
after?
available after we've approved it. It's discussed in the finance meeting
Okay, thank you very much.
itself. And yeah, and the board members went to the finance meeting, it was discussed there. And it was squeaky clean. So,
I'll
kudos
bet
to.
you put it on the website tomorrow, and then anyone who wants a paper copy, can receive an email from that.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Engineering and facilities.
Hello,
Jared,
can you hear me?
I can hear you,
I need
yes.
to come up here.
It's up to you. If you want to be on the. Okay.
Okay, July 1st, we had a engineering facilities meeting. The DNR came, we toured them to the facility, gave them lunch, rode around the big lake. Kurt did a wonderful job conversing with the history of everything we do. There was 6 people from the DNR. I think it was well received on both ends by the engineering committee and the DNR. They were kind of in awe of what we do go through to get rid of our silt and stuff within the Willow Basin, showing the whole excavation operation and all that kind of stuff. And then we came back for a general meeting here, and it was strictly on how to go about and procure 319 funding, that's government subsidies, to assist in this endeavor. I think everybody left there feeling pretty good about the meeting, and ever since then, we've had a couple of guys that have been doing absolute due diligence with gathering more information. They've talked with the stormwater people in Winsville. They've sent them Dave Cosmo back here and Dan Overwood. Anyway, they've procured like 395-page documents on the stormwater systems, this, that, and the other. We've got the copies of which a lot of us knew happened, but nobody really had any information on. The 2001 to 2005 Peru Creek Alliance that died because the person that was running it had passed away. So, I mean, we're gathering all kinds of good information now.
And these two gentlemen are working diligently on trying to spearhead and create the new Peru Creek Alliance, which we need upstream help, downstream help, funding from sources in all directions. And I've talked to the mayor a little bit. Downstream sources for some of this would be, he said there's a ton of like big money duck clubs, things of that nature. So there's sources out there that we can get involved, and that's kind of where we're headed. And it will not be Lake St. Louis CA organized. It will be a standalone entity, but we will also ask you guys as participants to be a funding element of this. So that's kind of where we're at. That's the best update I can give you.
That's completely appropriate, I think. I like the direction that you guys are going here. And but one of the questions that I had, it sounded to me from that meeting, I was at that meeting, like the DNR team was going to complete is it the 9-point?
Yeah.
The 9-point study?
They have taken on a big chunk of what we were afraid of.
Right.
It was a whole lot of money up front for the study, and they are going above and beyond to assist us with that.
So just for the record, that our first quote on that for a portion of that study was over $300,000. So the fact,
That was the first half.
right, that was the first part of it. So the fact that you guys brought these guys in, and even if that's all we get out of them, that was a huge value to the CA. And so thank you very much. And it's also exciting because, if I understood correctly, they are going to actually, once they complete that study, help us use that study in order to apply for the funding that we would need in order to help mitigate.
They will hand that back off to us for us to look at, tweak, whatever we want to do, and use it to put our alliance together to be able to proceed further with procuring funding.
And who was your co-chairman or the vice chairman who also helped arrange that? I'm trying to think of the guy's name.
From the ENF vice
Yeah,
chair?
from ENF.
The vice chair is Pat Alabama.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. So yeah, so I just wanted to single out Pat, Jerry, Dan, and Dave for all of their work that they're doing in Dell, and Todd Thomas. Okay. And
There's a lot of people involved.
this is definitely a bunch of work, absolutely. So it's most appreciated. Greg, you got something to add?
Yes, I do, and I do want to, what you said about Jerry and the committee, fantastic job on behalf of our community. And Jerry, thank you so much. I did hear about the permit was actually issued for the cattle folks. During the meeting, the permit was issued during the meeting.
That is correct.
Sitting in the room.
That is correct.
And they emailed out that the permit had been issued.
And if my understanding is correct, they did tighten up some of the tolerances as it related to phosphate.
One of the tolerances was tightened by 0.2%.
But it was pretty much always in
And
this is going to be.
the goal is a 0.5%. So it's they tightened one up. There's still a possibility that's being looked at of trying to get them to tighten one of the other parameters up a little bit.
Okay.
And that's above and beyond us. So
You will keep us in the loop.
I will.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir?
So the 5-year clock, did it start when they sent the email out, or does it start when they actually open the place?
The 5-year clock.
Upon the permit? They
It
get
started
5 years
July
on the
1st.
Okay.
It was approved on July 1st, and that's when the clock starts. Okay. But if they do transfer ownership to PWSD number 2, they will have to reapply for a permit to be reissued. They aren't supposed to be able to relax it at all. It has to be at least that tight.
Now, our concern at this point with the discharge there is more phosphate nitrate related than anything else. Right? I'm not worried about organic material coming far away from that.
And my second part is what I brought up downstairs, that I'd just like to be a part of the record for this meeting, is that a great idea from some of the golfers and husbands were sitting up here a week or so ago and had the suggestion that the company that's building that place likes pay for field turf like they did for Red City High School. They have a new football field. Why not get them paid field turf for around the ball shack where we gotta do something because the grass is dying, where the carts and everything go. How about they pay for field turf to go in those areas for us? I don't know who would ask that question for them to do that, but someone needs to.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'd rather that they actually pay for our silt problem. That's
Well,
what I,
we both.
that's where the money is. That's, so, but yeah, it's duly noted, Greg, duly noted. Thank you. Thanks, Jerry. Anything else? I'm not cutting you short, am I? Okay. Great job, Jerry. Moving on to ACC. Is Marty here? Did you? No, Marty. Okay. Knock that one off. Doug Henson, Lakes and Parks did not meet. Golf, Mr. Joe Strange.
Hi, I'm here. Before you move away from Lakes and Parks, we're recommending downstairs to get on the agenda for Lakes and Parks. And Doug Heinz not being here, who do we talk to?
I think Heather's.
I take, no, I do their agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Really nothing to report as far as motions are concerned, just give you a little update. We've already had 2 tournaments this year. Our next tournament is August 5th, it's at Lake Forest Scramble. We've already had 18 teams sign up, which is a couple more than we've had the last couple of years. After that, we've got the Fletcher Cup on September 15th. The Glow Ball September 28th, and then the final tournament is the Fall Classic, which I think is October 20th. Now, one of the things we did discuss was in our minutes, and I have not discussed with Heather yet, there's a possibility of adding someone or 2 people to work as like a course ranger on the weekends, because we have some problems with a lot of kids out there with and without adults. Sometimes they play during the hours, they'll sneak on or whatever, and that's where we're having some damage done to the course. I had 2 people try to sneak on today. Father and son combination that were supposedly waiting for somebody to see to come up and play with them. They're going to play, just walk on by themselves.
Not state members?
No, I wouldn't be Winston. He admitted it. But we've had that numerous times. So we'd like to take into consideration possibly either hiring a couple of 1 or 2 other people to work as a course ranger, quote unquote, between the hours like 2 and 7:30 on weekends. That seems to be the worst time problem we've had.
What kind of damage are you seeing?
We talked to Rob about the damage of greens. We caught one kid doing what do you call it? Turn the cart, little donuts down the fairway.
Doing tee boxes,
You know, Tina's seen them.
but they're also peeing in people's backyards. You know, now that's like they call it deep ocean sun is gone. They're using my neighbor's tree right by the kid's tree house. I mean, it's just disrespectful all around. I mean, I see a lot, just on Sunday night, I just have to turn my head because I feel like I'm the bad guy telling people golf etiquette. So, yeah, it's getting pretty bad out there. I mean, and it's not just kids. I mean, there are adults too that they just get crazy. They drive the golf carts wherever they want.
I'll object to this because I live a couple houses down, but it's hard to not say something to the kids and the people, but it also is very hard to say something.
Right.
Because
Because you live there.
I live there and I don't want anything done in my house in that aspect, so it's better if it comes from an official on the course. And I know they can't leave the shack. I mean, so you would have to have the lights turned on.
Yeah, I can talk to Rob about that.
Well, the problem is when we're seeing it, they're almost done with the round.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, I'll talk to Rob, I think it's gonna be kind of like water patrol, where we're gonna be somewhat relying on people to call that person, whether we get them a company phone or whatever it
You
is.
can
Just
tell.
because
Right.
you can't catch everything at once, but if people are calling, I mean, I had one a couple weeks ago, guy in a red shirt, you know, doing whatever he was doing, and we were able to locate him, but somebody saw, a non-employee saw him first and called us and said, hey, this guy's.
If you do end up getting something like that, and there's a cell phone available for the person that's.
Yeah,
working,
it'd be like the water patrol phone, that way they can
then
change, they can take it with
give
them.
it to everybody that lives on the course, the phone number, say, here's the response number, please.
Yeah. No, I think that.
The other possibility, and I don't know how strong this would be, but there's a lot of people that have cameras in
Yeah.
front and back of their houses. And it would be really helpful if
somehow we can coordinate with those people that have those, if they see something on their camera, that they, call and report it right away. Because, and have availability for us to look at those. Because a lot of times they're doing it in private cars. They're riding over greens, they're driving over tee boxes. And Robert's not up, keep it worse in great shape as it is. So we're just trying to figure out ways to keep it that way without getting damaged quite often.
Well, to piggyback off of what Joe said, it's not just apparently, and I've heard this from several people. People show up at 7 and they're like, oh, well, the shack's closed, so we heard it's open play.
Yeah.
For people from O'Fallon, Wentzville, St. Peter, they're coming
So
from
of
all over
course
because
they
they don't know what
think
the
that.
Danny did. So they think they can come here for free. And so the people who know better, they're like, no, this is a private course. So, maybe they're being misconstrued, I don't know, but,
That's somebody told me that earlier this year. Well, I thought it was open play and anybody could use it after 7 o'clock. I said, yeah, anybody that lives in CA. I mean, there's people on the use of tennis courts all night long because everybody and their brother, whether they live in the CA or outside the CA, know the code to the lock. So it's to the point now where we don't even lock the tennis courts, it's useless. Because somebody at night can go in there, turn on the lights and play tennis. And, I mean, we're not gonna be there all night long. So, I don't know what else to do.
I was gonna to do this discussion, I think you're probably aware, we've had people show up at the tennis courts and they're not members of the CA and they've been asked to present their cards and they won't.
Yeah, I talked to Rob, that was, person that you asked to talk to, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I talked to Rob about that when he sent me that email, that's when you were employed. I just told Rob my protocol, because people do this in water patrol all the time. If you refuse to show us our CA card, great, we'll have the police come, check your identification. So I don't think he knew quite what to do, so Rob went to talk to him. But yeah, if somebody refuses to identify themselves, then I'm gonna assume you're trespassing. So that's what we do if people won't show up with us.
Should we guard access tennis courts?
We looked into it, the biggest problem to get internet access to the gate, because it has to be hardwired in, is you have to drill a hole in the sound room downstairs, take it out through the building, trench under to the tennis court, there's a lot of irrigation and electric in the way, and then to get the card access on the gate is $5,000. So it's not impossible, it's just the best way to get to it, it's just, we're gonna have to tear all the irrigation out, basically redo it.
So Jefferson Point and Main Arena, that's hardwired to those gates?
There's little green like huts next to the gates that house that. But yeah, Spectrum put it in for both of those. It's this building, that's what we worked out with IT and maintenance, it's just to get it over there is the challenge.
Would Spectrum put another little green hut over there?
Spectrum didn't do that, we did.
Okay.
So-
Spectrum ran the line for free because there was no internet access in those locations, and if it's within a certain distance of a connection point, they have a construction budget that you can just access. If it's over that, you have to pay for it, which is what we had to do at Winchester, we had to pay a portion.
So the golf shack doesn't have internet?
It's pointed off in this building, and so is the cabana.
Yeah, the golf shack has internet, but there's just no way of keeping people without them sneaking on. People
No,
sneak-
I'm just thinking, if the golf shack has internet, then I'm not very far from the tennis court.
Right, yeah, it's got an access, it's
Our
got an
internet
access
service
on
is not,
this
our
building.
internet service in the golf shack is not always the best in the world.
Well, but,
Like when we scan cards, it takes 30 seconds or better to.
and again, I'm not the IT person, but IT's and wireless has gotten so much better
That's
in
what-
the last few years that I would reinvestigate, I think, wireless to
Like an extender.
the golf shack and to the tennis court is well within current technology.
You know, Kurt, I can tell you from watching this that if you scan your card down here in the pool, it usually comes up in about 5 to 10 seconds. You scan your card up at the golf shack when a lot of internet's being used, it takes that time, and every time it takes 28 seconds.
Well,
People just.
I can
try
ask
to-
Jason about an extender, but basically that's how they have internet access, is it's extended off of this building, and the cabana's the same way.
I would like to look at improved IT to give us better response times.
I can definitely do that, but I'm saying that the card access has to be hardwired. They don't have a wireless option available.
I don't know of any system that can tell the difference between proper wireless and wired.
You would
I
have to
do
talk to John,
massive
but I'm just
data
telling you that's the
transfers
response. They're-
on wireless.
Let's, yeah, why don't we,
Anyway, I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention, that's all, I just wanted to,
No.
want to get into a big picture.
The card scanning though this year that we're doing, is it going okay?
It's going okay, but it's very slow.
Yeah.
So you get a group like Tuesday Women League up there, and they scan one card, it beeps, and all of a sudden another person right behind them, they're scanning, it beeps. And it might be registering, but it's not coming up that fast on our screen that we can find out if they have an amenities pass or not. Because that has to show up on a screen, whether it says R for resident, or single, couple, family, whatever it is. So it's a very slow process, and you know, I can tell you, I'm sure there's only getting about, especially in leagues, maybe 80% of them scans that. But it's still going to get a better idea. I mean,
Well, that's what I was asking, so.
Do you use charter for internet?
The slowness, I mean, is resulting in us not capturing everything that we need to capture. Is that what I'm hearing?
What I do not know is if you scan one card, somebody scans the next one, somebody scans the next one, we have no way to know it's going through unless it pops up on the screen. You scan 3 cards right away like that, you're going to see the last person to scan the card.
Well, if you brought this up to Rob, because this is the first time hearing about that is right now.
That's what Rob and I talked about earlier. In fact, I even talked to John about it earlier.
That's what I was like, the person I talked to is John, but you should tell your supervisor, hey, we're having an issue with Wi-Fi so that we can resolve it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That sounds great.
real
Do we have
quick,
charter for internet?
In some places, yes, in other places, we have,
We have free cable for charter, do we get free internet for charter also?
no, we pay for
Pay for
internet.
internet,
We
okay.
don't-
Carol, we still get free cable, right?
We do
In
not
the
get free.
meantime, if it'll help you, we can padlock with a key lock and turn off the lights and padlock that tennis court when we leave at night. If somebody from the golf shack will pop that padlock off in the morning, then nobody can get in.
Well, it's got a padlock on it, but
Or we would use a key lock and nobody has a code too. When we leave at night, we'll padlock it. They can pop it open in the morning, we're done.
that seems like a reasonable solution for the.
But I mean, aren't people running golf for 10 minutes in the dark?
Yeah, that's
I mean, they only turn on lights.
That's
Turn
why
on
we
lights here.
At a certain time, they're supposed to.
I think we're done at a certain time, so.
I think people in there at 10 o'clock sometimes.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
10.
10 o'clock is the limit.
Oh, is that a cutoff?
That's, I think so.
That's
That's
why
automatic
it
cutoff.
That's kind of why it would work nice with our schedule, because we could easily make sure the lights off, padlock the gate, and then they could open it at 7 in the morning.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Ready to go.
Does that work okay, Joe?
I have no problem with that as long as it's easy for them to do. Because I just don't want to see if they're real busy in the restaurant, have to take time to go down there and padlock gates.
Okay,
That would be my only.
Thank you,
Great.
Carolyn.
thank you. Thanks, everybody. All right, courts, is that it, Joe? Good?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Courts committee, Alex.
Yeah, so we got a motion for an event on October 12th. It's a pickleball glow event, so it's gonna be at dark. In October, the date was set at October 12th because the sun's going down a bit sooner. So we're asking for Lakewood courts, all 4 of them, on October 12th from 7 to 10 p.m.
Do I hear a motion?
Have you talked to them about those dates? Well, Lakewood's not reserved in the evening. Yeah, Lakewood's, the only thing Joe and I talked about just, before they submitted this, was just talking about like the lights, noise and music and stuff like, because there are a lot of residences around. But our ordinance in our rule in every park is that after 10 o'clock, any loud music has to be turned on, which I think you guys will be respectful of, so.
Yep.
I'm just wondering if, if you have a large group there, would it make sense to stop at 9:30 to get, so you're cleared out by 10? As of, 6:30 to 9:30, I don't know if that makes sense or not.
What I would suggest is maybe we let them go till 10 this time and see how it works, and if
Yeah,
we get
yeah.
complaints, if there's a problem, we can look at it for next
Yeah.
year. So that would be something that we would look at. Certainly, when I first look at this, my concern is we're gonna be making noise there after dark in a place that doesn't usually make noise after dark, and how are we gonna hear about it? So, and we might, and if it's one time a year, then we'll find a way to work with that, you know,
And the 12th is a Friday? Saturday. Okay, so Saturday with a fallback of Sunday?
Yeah, the rain date is the 13th, next day.
Well, the equipment has to be returned on Monday. The lights we're gonna run. Okay.
do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve a Glow Pickleball social event for October 12th with a rain out date scheduled for October 13th, 2024.
Second? Second. Is there any further discussion necessary? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Then a few other things, we have Friday nights, tennis, in August. That's pretty much what's going on with tennis events. We just want to all that. Oh, yeah, the clinics, the third round of clinics for Summer 2 pickleball are underway. They started tonight. We had good demand, so we added another session. So instead of normally we have 3 groups of 4, now we have 4 groups of 4. So we've had in total 44 people that have taken the pickleball clinics this summer. So I'm expecting the fundraising element of that will come around $1,000 for the CA. So we'll be able to use that to whatever we have ways of spending that money. Lighting. Anyway,
Awesome.
going well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Aaron, you had a question?
I just want to make sure that the safety concerns, you know, that we'll make with pickleball courts is good and drive maintenance's attention.
You're talking about the step?
Yeah, Rod had,
Yeah, on floor.
Austin from Sports Courts come out last week, and Austin's supposed to present us with 2 different repair options.
Alrighty, moving on to, if you're done, Alex, you're done? Okay, thank you, sir. Moving on to aquatics, didn't stick to this time.
Okay, so quick update and then one question. Update, swim team has had 3 more meets since the last time we had a CA meeting, and they've won all 3 of them, so far they're undefeated. Their final meet is Saturday morning away at Winksville, and then Sunday, that next day, is the awards banquet, and then season's done. I have a question about the beach area over by the kayaks. There's been a lot of erosion of the shoreline there, both where the grass is and what used to be sand, like under those parking blocks. Is there any kind of plan to look at that, try to fix that, whatever?
We were gonna do it in the season, and Ronnie and I were talking, since we're dropping a small lake this year, he's gonna bring the excavator over. There's a lot of sand that we can pull back.
Okay.
And then he's gonna use it to clean that area up and basically redo it all.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that with this beach too.
Okay.
So we can dig some of the rockier sand that, cause you know, the sand is washed out, but the rocks from it are still there.
Right.
So he's basically gonna clean all that up. We just decided not to shut it down for a few days, cause I didn't want to take away from people's activities,
Okay.
so yes.
All right,
That is
thanks.
the plan. No problem.
All right. That concludes your report. Awesome. Heather, just a quick question on the lowering of the lake. When did we make a motion on that happening?
You approved it in February.
No.
We did in February.
We'll
Okay,
do
good.
it.
Okay, good.
We'll
We
do
were-
the same
we
with,
looked at- yeah,
the
okay,
large lake
good.
left next year. We try to do it as early in the year as possible, so everyone can get the contract.
I was worried that I didn't remember it, so we were having a side
Yeah, and we've
discussion.
been putting it in our newsletter, and then we'll do e-blasts and stuff, but we've already gotten quite a few lakefront projects, and we'll do, like I said, large lake will be next year, we'll do it in the beginning of the year, so people have time to prepare for it.
Did I hear correctly, you take the wall down one word at a time?
Alrighty, so, moving on from aquatics, thank you, Kathy. General comments from the residents. Who all do we have this evening?
Tina signed up to.
Just me?
Yeah, just you,
I had a question. I've been over at the dam bar, and they have this huge porta potty. Do we have any plans to like fix the actual bathroom? But I can't imagine how much that's costing us.
It's actually really inexpensive, so we own that. We bought it for $20,000 2 years ago. I got a special use permit through the city to have it there, and the servicing of it is minimal. I think we're paying like $200 every couple of weeks. So yeah, it's on the capital budget improvement plan, but we have so many seawalls and things we have to fix first that it's gonna probably be a few years unless this board or future board decides to reprioritize those projects. But like next year, a big one that I'm gonna go to bid on soon, I'm waiting on my engineering doc, is where guys for maintenance unload at Jefferson Point. That seawall's been falling apart since before I worked here. So it's basically a block wall that they know to go over it, but other contractors use it when they do. Like earlier this year, we had one of them completely take the wall out and we had to rebuild it. So we just have stuff like that that's fairly expensive, but ultimately I would love to expand that whole building and completely redo the bathroom.
Well, and I'm not even talking redo the whole building. I mean, it sounds like it's just pulling up the toilet, fixing, replacing it with a commercial grade toilet, which is $200.
Ryan had a plumber come out several times. There's more going on there than just the toilets, but he is planning on trying high flow to see if that helps. Because yeah, we're having like every weekend issue with the bathrooms there. So yes, there are plans to try to fix it in the short term, but the long term, those restrooms and that system was just not designed for what it's being used for, so it's just not working very well.
So and I'm not trying to be argumentative, I'm just trying to get a handle on. So we spent $20,000 on a porta potty truck, what couldn't have been spent to actually just fix the bathrooms? I mean, I can imagine bathrooms gonna be $20,000.
Uh-huh.
I mean, a lot of problems, they flush the paper towels down the toilet, that's a lot of the problem.
Well, and I know they put air things in there now, right?
All with paper
I mean,
towels.
you just can't fix stupid.
The problem are not the toilets themselves, so the problem is just that whole system. I mean, it's not just the toilets. And we did actually replace all of the toilets, all of the sinks, all of the fixtures 2 years ago when we redid the floor, repainted, and put the new partitions up. So that's all new stuff. It's not the toilets, it's the system. It's not designed for the amount of people that are using it now that the damn bar's done. So the plumbers come out multiple times, and it's not just our guys who've actually contracted it out, and he's basically said the same thing. It's too high volume for what you're using it for, which is why the $28,000 restroom, I mean, I'm getting bids on single stall, ADA compliant restroom for Lakewood, a block building precast with fixtures, not delivery fee is $75,000. So it's not just $20,000 to fix that problem. It's gonna be a lot more, but I do want to do it. It's just everything here, you gotta kind of like look at your priorities and figure out what you have to fix first, and we generally fix first things that are hazardous, like the Jefferson.
I mean, having a huge porta potty, to me, I think it's a big eyesore. Aside from wanting to fix, what we have that's associated.
Yeah.
So that's just what I was thinking about, because I've been there and I keep seeing that huge porta potty truck, which is like I said, I think an eyesore.
Well, we also had to take into consideration, even if we fixed those two stalls, we didn't have any additional restrooms. We didn't have any additional restrooms. So even if we fixed the two that we had at Windjammer, it didn't fix the volume problem we had with the influx of people at Windjammer. So we still didn't fix the issue. Even if we had spent $80,000 and fixed the problem, we still wouldn't have had more restrooms. So the solution for that interim was the mobile restroom. Does that make sense?
It does, but
Short term.
it was a short term,
There's
there
been
was
a
a line
long-
there, as long as I can remember, there's always been a line going to those bathrooms.
Lined up, but we weren't using Windjammer the capacity that we have been in the last 3-4 years since we opened the bar. Either. So we had to find a
I mean, I could agree to disagree, I've seen a lot of
Okay.
things parties there.
Sure.
Noted, your comments are noted, and
Appreciate it.
I think that we would acknowledge that it's not an ideal situation right now, and we're gonna continue to look at it, so, thank you. Mr. Jones is, Mr. Jones,
Well, might as well talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm the elephant.
I don't think you look like an elephant, but go.
Well, thank you. As you well know, one day I have an event at my house on this Saturday from 3 to 7, which will be setting against the world records for the largest gathering of people wearing water wings. And from what a little bird had told me, I know no rumors ever happened in Lake St. Louis, but I'm told that there's a possibility that the city board of directors is going to try and shut the event down because it's not considered, because it'd be considered a special event, and I've not gotten permission to get to do a special event. Is there any truth to that?
I don't think that there's any recourse for us to try to stop your event.
That is, that's all I wanted to know.
So now, for the record though, since you're here, we don't, I think it's a mistake. As a friend of friend, I think you're making a mistake here. I think it's way
We're no longer friends.
dangerous. I think, well, that's the, thanks for being truthful. The fact of the matter is that whenever we had this event that we were trying to support you with, you were incapacitated and unable to do the planning that I thought. Whenever we had a discussion, it was obvious to me that your planning was haphazard, that the fire department wasn't comfortable, the police department wasn't comfortable, and the staff weren't comfortable. So the board, I want you to know this, the board voted unanimously to pull our support for that with the interest of delaying it, not canceling it. We wanted to reschedule it. We wanted to reschedule it. You're the one that canceled it, okay? And the reason that the board voted that way was the information that I gave to them. I gave them that information based on 3 hours of discussions I had with you, and those discussions left me not believing that you could deliver what you said you could deliver.
Was Curtis, I mean, I thought he was on vacation.
Kurt was privy to the discussion.
Did he vote?
Kurt was
I
not.
did not vote, but it was unanimous of who voted that.
But I want you to know, they did that based on information I gave them.
Oh, I understand that.
Okay, so I've heard different things where you're mad at different people. If you want to be mad, here's the guy to be mad at, because I wholeheartedly endorse.
Don't worry about that, I'm mad at you.
I think you were making a big mistake, and I think where you're taking it now, that the fire department and the police department now both believe it's very dangerous. You're in water that is over people's heads, and and there's nothing we can do. You can have people to your house. We can't do anything about that. I think as a former friend, you're making a big mistake.
So just from an insurance standpoint, just so you know, I have $1 million umbrella liability on my house. I've got a policy that's in underwriting right now that should be issued before Saturday for another $1 million in aggregate, $2 million on top of that for liability for this event. And it's a Lake St. Louis insurance agent that is writing it, and he knows exactly what's going on. He's one of the sponsors of the event. Separately, I'm paying for the insurance myself at this point in time. I've paid for $600 worth of water wings myself. I'm committed to one of the things we're doing is not just raising money for the correct program at City Hall. And Darren's very excited about what we have going on with that. But in addition to that, there's 5 other organizations we're raising money for. Total Towers Organization being one. Gary Sneed's Foundation. Iron Flight is one of them, and it's just, that Friday when I was up here and finding out that you could not use the ballroom for the VIP reception, and obviously I was very frustrated. But that same night.
Clear to you.
Can I finish?
You're right.
Please.
I'm sorry, you have the floor. I apologize.
Rich Niles, who I think a lot of you know that lives here, service member. He's going on the Iron Flight in October, and his son is going to be his guardian. It's going to cost him $600. We're paying for it. It's going to cost him $0 for his son to go with it. And that's what we're doing as part of this fundraiser component of it. And that's just one of the 5 different organizations we're raising money to, on top of what we're doing for the city and the BRIC program. This is my last fundraiser I'm doing, folks. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for a lot of causes over that time period. Whether it be poker runs, I started in my basement, ran them for 10 years, turned it over to the cornholers, and they've been running and doing a great job with it since then. The number of things that I've done over the years, but I'm done. I'm tired, folks. I'm just tired of being a volunteer. That's why I resigned myself from the Master Planning Committee, even though I think it's a great committee. I think it can do great things. I'm just done. I'm done volunteering my time for this community. It's just going to turn around and have people judge me in the manner they have. I did resign from the golf committee because of that. I'm just done. Okay?
The resignations are accepted.
And I know they've been accepted. I don't care, you can't make me say it on committee, I'm a volunteer. No, you volunteers, but you decided to run for the board. You asked me to be on the master planning
I
committee.
did. It was good faith, I asked you. I thought it was a
And,
good
and I
idea.
first said, yeah, I don't think so, but then I said yes. And so I did that, and then they made me chairman. Whoever did that, John Circuit ran. Yeah. So, you're not very resume, right? No, sir. Okay.
It's with the fire department.
Oh, yeah. Chiefs, come September, I'm a Chiefs fan. Been going to Chiefs games since my grandpa took me there in 1967. I was at the longest game ever played against the Miami Dolphins as a 7-year-old. Time for the 3-peat this year. And I'm going to be watching on TV. The dates, I asked for the dates, what were the alternate dates going to be?
We never got to discuss that. You canceled it. You canceled it whenever I said let's.
But I
let's
sent
talk
another
about
email
it.
out saying if I were to keep it going.
It didn't
September
matter.
10th, September 17th, excuse me, August 10th, August 17th, August 31st, with the 3 dates available, with the ballroom available.
It didn't matter because you had canceled the event at that point and you had resigned from all the committees. We accepted your resignations and we accepted your cancellation. We were willing to go forward, and so was the fire department and the police department were both willing to support you.
Sir, you just keep on interrupting me, and
That's
let me finish the sentence. So the 10th is the weekend of our 45th anniversary. My wife and I are going with a group of high school friends who we've been friends with for 55 years to Lake of the Ozarks, and we're spending the weekend there. I won't be available to run a watering event on the 10th. The 17th, I'm saving the date because the cornholers, that's the save the date before the poker run, if it is going to be one. Don't know if it is or not, but if it is, I'm going to be a stop. And the 31st just coincides with, on August 28th, the Lindenwood Lions travel to Kansas City to play against the Kansas Jayhawks. And I'm taking my granddaughter, who's a student at Lindenwood, to the game. I bought tickets on the 50-yard line, 10th row, and she and I are going to the game. So I won't be available Labor Day weekend to do a waterway event. So
Well, I don't think there is a Lake St. Louis Community Association sponsored watering event. You canceled it.
thank you everybody for your help and participation. My house, 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock, Saturday. We've implemented all the safety plans that you talked about, and have most of those ready to go. And I'd love to be able to talk to you. And
That's why I came here tonight to address it, so if you would.
Yeah,
Can you
I'd be
stick
great.
around? Let me,
I'll let you do whatever you need to. I'm not gonna be here to do all your
well, I'm here to speak to you in front of the board, that's all I was asking.
Go ahead.
So,
Okay, let's do it here.
I was gonna, they wanted to talk, I just wanted to talk.
It's up to you.
Okay,
I can handle this however you
Okay.
like.
Everybody has the word.
it's up to you.
I'll be happy to go through all the safety things until we talk about the meeting.
But our concern is not about you doing it to your personal residence, brings up a lot more actions that we're gonna have issues with.
Do you know, do you
So
want to?
we are here begging you to figure out a way to reschedule this, and please do it as a sanctioned event. The police department cannot go to a non-sanctioned event. I can't come to a non-sanctioned event. The EMS cannot come to a non-sanctioned event. And then now that we're gonna move it over on the big lake as opposed to being on the small lake in the swim area, we have a defined shallow zone. The area by your house, I had a research, if we're looking 6 to 8 foot out there, some of the kids aren't gonna be able to reach it. So we're bringing up our safety concerns on top of other things, about parking. I mean, as soon as we line up, you're just saying, you know, we talked about 400 people plus whatever's on the
350s are not.
350 or
350s
400.
are max.
But then we also got the bystanders that are gonna be on the side. Let's just not even, you know, it's not even look at just your house, but let's say all these guys are parking there, and they can't get a fire truck to an EMS call or a fire in the area because all the roads are blocked. So that's why I'm here, please sir, is there any way we can find a way to reschedule this and do it as a sanctioned
Too deep
event?
into it right now. Too deep into it.
Well, I hate to see somebody lose their life or be injured because we are trying to push an event without being able to do it properly. That's what our fears. At the end of the day, we're gonna be there if you call 911, but unfortunately, with it not being a sanctioned event, I'm gonna have to respond to the area. I cannot be on standby for that event. So in a situation where every second counts, we're adding seconds to someone's life.
And I appreciate your feedback, and I'd be more than happy to come by my house tomorrow or Friday. I'll show you what we have set up as far as the safety goes.
As far as me and the board, sir, we are not sanctioning this event. I
Well, no,
cannot-
I'm not actually sanctioning it.
I'm pleading with you to not do it this Saturday at your house. That's
It's
what I'm
gonna
saying.
happen. So it's already too far into it, I'm having it at my house.
injury claims for a living. Like, I pay multi-million-dollar claims. And the fact that you have local officials who are putting you on notice, and there's like major concerns, like I have anxiety over it because I see what happens out of events that are unplanned and or.
You're assuming it's not planned, you're assuming that that's what I'm doing. You're assuming
I
that
hope you have
that's-
lifeguards, I hope you have lifeguards there in place, and I hope that there are proper plans in place, but without coordination and everyone working together, it is a major concern.
You're assuming that.
I think we're
And
about.
that's what I'm gonna leave it at.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna go ahead and cut this off, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We'll let it
Oh,
down
I'm
there.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Can I leave us on a up note?
Please, sir.
Okay.
Go see Lance.
Anything we can do to make sure that it's communicated well to all the people that worked in maintenance over this past month, that saved the 4th of July, that saved the ski shows this past weekend. I'll thank you from my family. I can't represent the ski team or anything else, but I'll tell you something, it saved it, okay, for the shows. So, thank you. Because
That means a lot to them, and it means a lot to us.
No, and I tell them when I see them, but if it comes from all of us as a community, tell them, say thank you, because I have a front row seat to watching it get geared up. I mean, literally, if you want to tap into my security cameras, you can watch the whole thing. I need to do a time lapse sometime. I'll tell you something. Watching it and working from my house often, it was impressive the amount of work that they did. So.
Thank you. I prematurely asked for a motion to adjourn because we didn't go through comments from the board. Aaron? Let's push on the spot.
I need to prepare for this.
Sorry. We'll do you last next time.
Yeah, you always start with Brad. No, thanks for coming out. Thanks for voicing, your concerns and we've got a lot of stuff that we face and a lot of decisions that we have to make where sometimes it feels like it's choosing the lesser of two evils or, having to trade something off to find something else and it's not always easy. But keep speaking up and as you see things that you want to address, certainly bring them here. There's from my perspective, there's nothing wrong with it and I invite it. And thanks again. And I reiterate what Rick said, many staff really did above and beyond. We got a little note about their activities this week and during the holiday week and it seemed like they really put in hours. I mean, really. So, yeah, much deserved appreciation. That's it.
I think we covered it, but thanks to everybody for coming.
I just want to thank everybody for participating and giving your input on there. Really appreciate it. It does help out. So, thanks, Jerry, for your EMR stuff. It's really good job on that. Saves us $200 $300.
Please.
That's well worth it.
Yeah, I definitely, from the ENF standpoint, that meeting was probably more valuable than a lot of other meetings for a lot of years, so thank you very much for that. Having been on ENF, I didn't pull off anything nearly that good, so I'm very impressed. Good job. Thank you for mentioning maintenance. I may have forgotten it, but yeah, they've really hauled some lumber. And then thanks for everyone for coming up here. And if anyone wants this much fun, you can apply to join our little story.
Michelle?
Echo everybody's comments.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that thank you to the rest of the board. We argue and fight a lot behind the scenes. And sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but we all do it together. And all of these people up here, their hearts are in the right spot. They love this place as much as you do, and as much as I do. So, so thank you to all of them. All right, motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
One thing, that was our fire chief.
Yes, that was our fire, that was our fire.
Fire chief, in case you didn't see that. Great guy.